Imagine you are standing on top of the Himalayas. Below you, a river is carving a deep valley. Far away, a glacier is slowly moving. In the desert, the wind is building sand dunes. Along the coast, sea waves are cutting cliffs. Now ask yourself, who is the artist that created all these landscapes? The answer is simple: nature. And William D. Thornbury explained nature's work through 10 fundamental principles of geomorphology. Let's learn them as a story rather than memorize them. First principle is, the same physical processes and laws that operate today operated throughout geologic time, although not necessarily with the same intensity as now. Imagine you are watching rain falling today. Rain forms streams. Streams become rivers. Rivers slowly carve valleys. Exactly the same thing happened millions of years ago. Nature never changed its methods. Only its speed and intensity changed. This is called principle of uniformitarianism. Remember, this based on concept called as present is the key to the past. Second principle is, geologic structure is a dominant control factor in the evolution of landforms and is reflected in them. Suppose two houses are built. One has a strong foundation, another has a weak one. Which will survive longer? Exactly. The same is true for Earth. Hard rocks become mountains. Soft rocks become valleys. Faults guide rivers. Folds create mountain belts. It means structure decides shape. Third principle is, to a large degree, the Earth's surface possesses relief because the geomorphic processes operate at differential rates. Nature never works at the same speed everywhere. Some rocks weather quickly, others resist erosion. Some rivers flow rapidly, others flow slowly. Because every process works at a different rate, Earth develops mountains, valleys, plateaus, and plains. Remember that different speeds create different landscapes. Fourth principle is, geomorphic processes leave their distinctive imprint upon landforms, and each geomorphic process develops its own characteristic assemblage of landforms. Every landform has a unique signature in nature. A river forms V-shaped valleys. A glacier forms U-shaped valleys. Wind creates sand dunes. Sea waves produce sea cliffs. Karst processes form caves and sinkholes. Simply by looking at a landform, you can often identify the process that formed it. Remember that every process leaves its fingerprint. Fifth principle is, as the different erosional agents act upon the Earth's surface, there is produced an orderly sequence of landforms. Nothing appears overnight in nature. A young river cuts steep valleys. Later valleys widen. Eventually broad plains develop. Just like a human grows from childhood to adulthood, landscapes also pass through stages of development, like youth stage, mature stage, and old stage. Remember that landforms also grow with time in different stages. Sixth principle is complexity of geomorphic evolution is more common than simplicity. Do you think only one process creates every landscape? No. A mountain may first rise because of tectonic forces. Then rivers erode it. Later glaciers reshape it. Finally, wind and weather continue the work. Nature works as a team. It means most landscapes have outcome of multiple factors. Seventh principle is, little of the Earth's topography is older than Tertiary, and most of it is no older than Pleistocene. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, but surprisingly most of the landforms we see today are geologically young. Old landscapes have been destroyed and replaced again and again. For example, although the Himalayas began forming earlier, much of their present topography developed during the Pleistocene. Eighth principle is, proper interpretation of present-day landscape is impossible without a full appreciation of the manifold influences of the geologic and climatic changes during the Pleistocene. Imagine trying to understand a movie after watching only the last 5 minutes. Impossible. Similarly, today's landscapes cannot be understood without knowing the Ice Age, glaciers, changing climates, and tectonic activity during the Pleistocene shaped many modern landforms. Knowing the Ice Age helps in knowing today's Earth's landforms. Ninth principle is, an appreciation of world climate is necessary to a proper understanding of the varying importance of the different geomorphic processes. Climate decides which process dominates. In deserts, wind is king. In humid regions, rivers dominate. In polar regions, glaciers shape the land. Climate is the director, and geomorphic processes are the actors. To memorize above, the trick is, in hot region, wind dominates as erosional factor of landforms. In wet region, river dominates as erosional factor of landforms. A geomorphologist is like a detective. Glacial dominates as erosional factor of landforms. The clues are visible today. 10th principle is geomorphology. But the story began millions of years ago. Present-day landscapes to explain its maximum usefulness by historical extension. We must reconstruct its history. Only then can we understand why it looks the way it does today. Remember that every landscape has a history. Thornbury's message is simple. The earth is never still. It is continuously writing its own story,